Heidi Klum is opening up about one of the most painful, emotional, and deeply misunderstood moments of her life, being made to feel unattractive while carrying her children, and her latest comments are now sending massive shockwaves across the fashion world, celebrity circles, and social media platforms worldwide. What should have been one of the most beautiful chapters of her life instead became a time filled with silent judgment, rejection, and emotional scars that stayed with her for years. In a recent interview that quickly went viral within hours of being published, Heidi revealed that during her pregnancies, people within the modeling and entertainment industry openly told her she was not sexy anymore. Those words weren't whispered, they were stated bluntly, as if they were facts. The message was devastating, that motherhood somehow stripped her of her beauty, her value, and the very image that had built her career. Heidi explained that instead of being celebrated for creating life, she felt quietly pushed aside, slowly erased from opportunities, and treated as if pregnancy was something shameful, something to hide rather than honor. Heidi shared that this all happened at the height of her modeling career, when her face was everywhere, dominating magazine covers, walking the biggest global runways, and becoming one of the most recognizable supermodels in the world. Yet, the moment her body began to change for motherhood, the attention shifted. She recalled being subtly encouraged to step away from cameras, avoid public appearances, and wait until her body returned to its old shape before being visible again. The industry's message was painfully clear: pregnant women didn't fit the fantasy image they wanted to sell. What made the experience cut even deeper, Heidi said, was how casually those comments were delivered. There was no apology, no hesitation, and no concern for how hurtful they were. It wasn't cruelty in tone, it was something worse. It was normalized judgment, as if everyone had silently agreed that pregnancy automatically meant a woman was no longer desirable. Heidi admitted those words stayed in her mind for years, echoing long after she returned to modeling and proved she could still dominate covers, runways, and television screens just like before. As time went on, Heidi began to see the truth for herself, that becoming a mother actually made her feel stronger, more confident, and more connected to her body than she had ever been before. She described pregnancy as powerful, beautiful, emotional, and life-changing in the best way possible. It wasn't something that took away her femininity, it added depth to it. Yet, despite this personal transformation, she couldn't escape how harshly society judges women the moment their bodies changed for motherhood. The supermodel, who is a mother of 4, made it clear that her experience isn't unique to celebrities. She emphasized that countless women around the world are made to feel unattractive, unwanted, or less than while pregnant, especially in workplaces and industries that place heavy focus on physical appearance. From office jobs to entertainment to retail, many women suddenly feel overlooked or pushed aside the moment their pregnancy becomes visible. Heidi's story instantly struck a nerve with mothers everywhere who recognized that same quiet shaming. After her comments went public, social media absolutely exploded with reactions. Thousands upon thousands of women flooded comment sections with their own stories, being ignored at work, receiving hurtful remarks about their bodies, or being treated like they were no longer valuable while pregnant. Many praised Heidi for finally saying out loud what so many women have felt in silence for years. Fans called her brave, honest, and long overdue in challenging a culture that only celebrates women when their bodies meet unrealistic, impossible standards. Several public figures, models, and industry insiders also spoke up in support, admitting that the fashion world has long struggled with accepting natural body changes. Some revealed they were pressured to hide pregnancies entirely, while others were pushed into extreme dieting immediately after giving birth just to remain marketable. The behind-the-scenes reality, they said, is far harsher than the glamorous image the industry projects. What makes Heidi's journey even more powerful is that she ultimately rewrote the narrative herself, After each pregnancy, she returned stronger than ever, not just walking runways again, but hosting major television shows, landing high-profile contracts, and continuing to evolve her career on her own terms. Instead of fading away like the industry expected, she rose higher. Motherhood didn't weaken her star power, it expanded it. Now, years later, Heidi says she finally feels free to speak about those painful moments without embarrassment or shame. She wants her story to help change how pregnancy is viewed, not as something that takes away beauty, but as something that represents strength, transformation, and life itself. She hopes younger women won't grow up believing they have to choose between motherhood and self-worth. Her message is loud, clear, and impossible to ignore. Women do not lose their beauty when they become mothers. They evolved into something even more powerful, resilient, and extraordinary. And as this story continues to spark conversation across the world, it's forcing the fashion industry and society as a whole to confront just how deeply rooted these toxic beauty standards really are and why it's time for them to finally change. Make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more celebrity updates just like this.